Welcome back to Yang Daily. Sorry for being a bit late. We have so much super bigly news today, and it just keeps on pouring in nonstop. I'm in a scramble, but it's a happy scramble. Let's get to it. Press Secretary Steve Mnuchin announced today that the Trump administration is planning to put $1,000 directly into the hands of Americans within the next 2 weeks. Whether the plan is for a one-time payment or monthly, and who will receive it, is still unclear. We do know that the current plan is not universal because Trump was quoted saying millionaires will not get it. That implies means testing, which is problematic. It will likely slow the process down, entail paperwork for recipients, and inevitably exclude people who need it, as the global report on targeted versus universal programs we reviewed a few days back made clear. There may still be time to convince the administration that simpler is better in this case. My biggest concern is that they may try to target it at a further subset of the population, like only those recently unemployed or something. I don't know, but we need more details. A White House reporter backed this up today, tweeting that, to his surprise, emergency UBI has higher bipartisan support than a payroll tax cut. There can be no doubt at this point that we are successfully moving the needle in the right direction, and this is cause for celebration. Many would have given up at any number of points when we suffered setbacks during the campaign, most of all when the campaign ended, but we did not. We kept fighting because we know how vital our cause is to creating a future that we want to live in. Our efforts are paying off, YangGang. Drink it in. Now we just need to keep pushing and make it universal and monthly. Yang tweeted that his phone has been blowing up, and he said on CNN that he and Humanity Forward have been advising the White House on UBI research. Hopefully, Yang will show them the path to victory. Keep writing and keep calling your representatives and the administration. Representative Joe Kennedy also released a new stimulus plan today, which, in addition to unemployment benefits, included a UBI of $4,000 per adult and $2,000 per child for those with income under $100,000 per year, and $1,000 for those over $100,000. Much like Trump's plan, it was not said that it would be monthly, and it clearly is means tested. Kennedy did say there would be a provision for benefits to continue for years to come, but he did not clarify if that means for the unemployment or the cash grant or both. If this were monthly, it would be very generous. If it's one time, it's a good start, but will not last through the recession or depression. And again, the means testing may exclude some in need. That said, it's still encouraging progress. Carrying on, Ilhan Omar, one of Bernie's squad, also released a UBI bill today. Hers was crafted with Tulsi Gabbard and is the best of the bunch in my opinion. It also happens to be exactly the form Yang and Furman have been calling for. It is $1,000 per adult and $500 per child, completely universal, no exceptions. Her tweet did not say monthly, but I'm like 90% certain it's monthly. If not, then it definitely needs to be. If so, then it's pretty much perfect in my opinion. Slightly worried that the child provision would stir up welfare mother arguments, but I doubt we'll see that for a temporary emergency measure. I'm all in on this one. Let's do it. Moreover, the moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived. Senator Bernie Sanders has officially called for $2,000 to be given to every household or adult, not sure which, on a monthly basis for the duration of the crisis. Hashtag Bernie on board. Where you at, Biden? Bernie seems to be continuing a political game of everyone must have their own variation on UBI. If he is providing it to each household, as he said in his video reveal, instead of each adult, that's weird. That would favor unmarried adults. I happen to be one of those, so bully for me, but per adult seems more fair. Long term, such a policy would actually incentivize divorce, which is ironically one of the criticisms of Bernie's wealth tax as well. The $2,000 does mean a married couple gets as much as with the standard UBI, it just might be harder to pass. The plan on his website, on the other hand, says $2,000 for each person, which also doesn't actually make sense because that would include every child getting $2,000, which seems a little crazy high. So I'm guessing that he misspoke both in the video and on the website, and the plan is actually $2,000 per adult. Could be wrong about that, but I think that's what he's going for. It's kind of a mess. He needs to get the wording clear because it does matter. Kind of wish he'd just supported Tulsi's plan, but Bernie always seems to want to go his own way, I've noticed. This was just one plank of Bernie's very loaded plan with everything from paid leave to free medical treatment to employing the National Guard. to keeping everyone employed on the government's dime, to unemployment insurance, to debt suspensions, all the way to stuff that has nothing to do with the crisis at all, like putting employees on government boards. And this is where I become very concerned with Bernie. I'm afraid he would furnish a bill with all of this crap thrown into it, guaranteeing that it would not pass and we'd get no UBI. This is why I say Ilhan and Tulsi's plan is best. She's proposing a UBI on its own bill and the most reasonable form of it. Not much hope for Bernie's bill, but I'm happy to see he finally came around on UBI. Humanity for Yang has sent an alert to trend the hashtag Yang was right. I'm not entirely sure I'm down with this one, as we have a good movement going for UBI right now, and I don't see YangGang formally trying to claim credit for Yang as doing any good for our image or for the movement. But it has produced some good articles and tweets from people about how Yang started this movement and giving him, respect for that. So I will leave it to your discretion. Kara Swisher announced that Yang will be appearing on the Recode Decode podcast Wednesday to discuss everyone suddenly turning YangGang over UBI stimulus. Should be great. Lastly, Atlanta YangGang's Twitter account was recently removed by Twitter, and they've had to start a new one. They are doing great work organizing grassroots support for the movement and could really use your help regaining their base. Please visit their new account below, give them a follow, and tweet it to your own followers so we can get the operation back up and running quickly. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Help trend Yang was right on Twitter if you approve. Send your regards and feedback to Trump, Kennedy, Ilhan, and Bernie for their STEM bills. Help Atlanta YangGang recover on Twitter. Sign the UBI stimulus petition below. Message Trump why universal UBI stimulus is the best option. Use ResistBot or Income Movement to easily contact your representatives. And don't forget to Yang Daily.